So welcome to Turnaround Unicorns webinar. This is brought to you by Winner Awards. Winner Awards is the largest manufacturer of trophies in the Middle East. We are based in Dubai and we started in 1990. Let's start off with a quote from the father of this great nation, His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan. Future generations will be living in a world that is very different from that to which we are accustomed. It is essential that we prepare ourselves and our children for that new world. We pay our respect and allegiance to the President of UAE, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Your visions and your leadership is continuously inspiring us. Thank you for making this country a great nation. We also pay our allegiance and loyalty to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of UAE, the area where we are operating right now. You are truly a turnaround unicorn, and you are the greatest turnaround unicorn of this region. We are all inspired by your great vision and your determination to move forward during challenging times. Thank you for building the tallest building on the planet in Dubai. And that too, we all know the story. During the last phase of the construction, we had some challenges. The name of the tower changed from Burj Dubai to Burj Khalifa, but ultimately, through determination and through a determination, we could achieve that great dream of having the tallest building on the planet in Dubai. You might have had friends saying, when you are about to do something remarkable, your friends would be saying, don't do it, it's a big risk. But you went ahead and did a remarkable job out of it. See, people who have never failed in life has never achieved anything, because risk takers are the ones who change the world. See, the year Lehman Brothers collapsed in 2008, the entire world was having a global financial recession, the greatest which we ever witnessed. And that's the time when Burj Khalifa was built. How did that happen? How do some unicorns emerge in the middle of challenging times? See, it's not over yet until you say it's over. Challenges may come, obstacles may come, but never give up. This is the message that we wish to give through this webinar. We have an incredible lineup of speakers today. Let's start by paying homage to one of the greatest turnaround unicorn of history, Mr. Steve Jobs. We know about Steve Jobs. He revolutionized the entire industry. We'll start off by playing a small video from him, and then this is to inspire all the participants today.
Here's to the crazy ones, misfits, rebels, troublemakers, brown pants, square holes, ones who see things. They're not fond, and they have no respect for status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them. The only thing you can't do and once they see them as the crazy ones, we see it. The people crazy think they can change the world.
Yeah. So we know the story about Steve Jobs had to be moving out of his company, and then when he came back, this was one of the first things that he did. This advertising campaign, Think Different advertising campaign, and from the verge of collapsing as a company, he took it to the most valuable company on earth in 15 years. He changed 3 industries: the computer industry, the smartphone industry, as well as the music playing device industry during this 15 years. So with that note, let's move on to our first speaker, Ms. Twyla Garret from United States. She lives in North Carolina, United States. She's a world-famous motivational speaker, and she has many entrepreneurship ventures. She's a serial entrepreneurship inspiration to all of us. She's also she's the founder and CEO of Abuhijleh Garret Holdings in Ghana as well. She has many investments in Africa as well. With a track record that spans real estate development and government contracting and international business strategy, Twyla brings over 2 decades of leadership and operational excellence to the global stage. She's widely recognized for her deep expertise in public-private partnerships, small business development, market expansion across North America and West Africa. Twyla currently serves as a subject matter expert for Verizon Small Business Digital Ready, where she helps guide small businesses through digital transformation and economic resilience. Her ability to connect vision with execution has made her sought after voice in conversations around entrepreneurship, community wealth building, and inclusive economic development. As an international speaker, Twyla brings real-world insights, tested frameworks, and an unapologetic commitment to helping others build legacy-driven businesses that transcend borders. This entire webinar started off with an acquaintance with our managing director and Twyla in Dubai sometime back. And thank you, Twyla, for joining for this webinar. And we look forward to a great session with you.
Oh, I look forward to it. Thank you.
Welcome, welcome. Yes. The floor is open for you.
Well, I want to tell you a little bit about my journey as they say the unicorn, the turnaround unicorn. I started my life as a child that was abused by a parent. I was raised by a mom who had stabbed me. I had been raped by the age of 10, 12, and on. At 14, I was given away from my mother to my father, who I never met. And I had to look at that journey to figure out, what do I do next? Ran away a couple of times, ended up in juvenile home, and truly was at a point where I just wanted something better. We grew up very poor. We grew up in the inner city of Cleveland, Ohio, a single mom of 4 that struggled to just keep food on the table. We got evicted many times, stayed in the car, lived in cars. And it was just a journey that I knew I needed to take something different. It's so weird, you know, that journey of taking me away from my mom, the court system, made my mother tell me that at the court that you will not amount to anything. You will never be anything, and you will be broke and pregnant and on welfare for the rest of your life. And I'll never speak to you again. My mother kept that. You know, I go to so many different events, and I speak at so many different places. And everyone talks about either the great childhood, or how they were nurtured by the mom, and how their parents kept them and made them whole and got them to where they're at. Well, I tell that similar story. My mother's words that I wouldn't amount to anything, that I wouldn't be anything, was the catalyst for my success today. And it still is as I move forward in this youngish 50-ish year old body that I'm in now. I would not take back. I'm going to start my story by saying I would not ever take back anything that happened, from the rapes to the abuse, to being stabbed by my own mother, to never speaking to my mother again. And so weirdly, as I went through my teenage years, wondering, did she love me? Did she care for me? The words that you wouldn't amount to anything, you won't be anything, stepped and took hold in my mind to make sure that that catalyst now would be how I move forward, not to prove her wrong, but to step into righteous and be able to say, you know what, I'm going to use these words instead of for the negative, for the better. And I use those words as of even today to fuel what I do. So fast forward, I graduated. I'm an accountant by trade with an MBA, master's degree, started with a PhD in Homeland Security as well. I ended up leaving and graduating as an accountant. I went to the federal government, became the U.S. Naval Academy's accountant for trust funds. Soon was able to do some phenomenal things with the federal government. But what I realized at 28, 29, that I was stuck. I was in the system that was going to allow me to stay in that system for years, unless I just wanted to be complacent and do something different. I was going to be in that little wheelhouse. A lot of people use the federal government, and I don't say this as a negative. It's a very secure career. But for me, I always wanted more. And so at the age of 29, going into my 30s, I quit the government. I opened up my own firm with $500 in my pocket. And I turned that firm from $500 in 15 years, 16 years later. I had 120 employees, 7 offices. I traveled to Dubai many times. And I grew it to $25 million a year annually for several years. And I was the sole owner. And it was so weird because people could never imagine this kid that was homeless, this kid that was raped, this kid that was abused, with no parent other than my father at the time. And my father became that great rock. The one blessing my father gave me, he died in 2022, is that he taught me God. He taught me resiliency at a very young age. Even though I didn't know what God was or religion was, he taught me that. And then I went to a school that was an all-girl Catholic school, and it was exactly the rigor and the discipline I needed in order to move forward. And so I was able to move in different ways than my counterparts in my neighborhood. Moving out of my city into San Diego, California, gave me a view that I never thought I could see before. So I sold a business. I have opened up several businesses that all, and I mean every one of my businesses has expanded over $1 million in revenue in less than 18 months of opening. I am currently sitting in Ghana. I come to you right now from Ghana. I'm here at 6 in the morning. I'm here to build my hotel. I own and I designed and built a hotel. One of the things about being homeless as a kid, the resiliency I got is that I would not be homeless again. So every city that I had an office, I bought a home. So by the time I sold my company, I had 11 homes. And I also had apartment buildings and several different things. So I'll never be homeless again. But one of the challenges I wanted to do is that I loved real estate. I think if I had to do it all over, instead of an accountant, I probably would have been an architect with an accounting degree. But I love designing and building structures. I actually love to see something be birthed and come to life. I worked on some phenomenal projects, the dorms at Duke University, UNC Chapel Hill Hospital, multiple STEM buildings and elementary schools I've built in the last 10 years of my second phase of my career. And now I took my money, my mouth, and my energy to Africa. And so now I own over 250 acres. I am building the first hotel, first 5-star hotel owned by a Black woman, and it will open in about 7 months. And I am so excited to be here in Ghana to be able to do that. I'm opening or starting the groundbreaking of one that's going to be on the water. It's going to be a 40-room boutique hotel on the water. And then I have an acronym, which is Victory in Africa and Ghanaian, Victory. It's an actual 115-acre community plan development, and that's going to have affordable housing, mixed use, mixed level housing, as well as estate homes, all in one. The one thing I realized is that when I came from the streets of Cleveland and being poor, you know, I could be a PhD in poor, so I never was afraid. I have absolutely no fear in getting into business because I bet on Twyla before I bet on others. And because of that, I noticed that the one thing communities do is that they segment everyone. If you're poor, you live in one area. If you're middle class, you live in one area. If you're upper class, you live in another area. If you're elite and rich, you live in another area. And one of the things I wanted to do was to design a community where everybody lived together. Because guess what? It brings hope, it brings inspiration, and more importantly, it shows you what you could be. It gives you an opportunity to dream where you could go. So if you started off in a low income housing and you walk by a townhouse that's middle class, that gives you hope to be able to move to that one day. And how do you get there? With incubators and things of that nature. I am so glad this year I announced the Impact League. And if you don't know about the Impact League, it's for businesses. It's for any business that wants to scale 7 and 8 figures. I pulled together 7 of my amazing mentors and friends, and we have 102 businesses on it now. It's called Impact League, and you can go to www.impactleague.co. And that group is there to mentor you, giving you the right structure and foundation and financial literacy about how to move a business and how to scale a business. So I'm excited. I'm grateful. George, thank you so much for the invitation today. Because sometimes people don't know your story. I do walk around with sweatpants or on job sites, and I look like I probably don't know what I'm doing. In other people's standards. But believe me, I'm well tested. I'm a licensed GC. I'm registered in 12 states. I'm building homes right now in the US. I'm building homes. My girlfriend's home burnt down, and I'm building her home as we speak. And I got other projects that's in the works. So I'm very excited to be here today. I'm excited to meet the other panelists and stay in touch with people, because one of the things, and George is doing this by this actual webinar, network is key. Network is your net wealth. That's who you know, and you not just know, but cultivate relationships with and friendships with. You never know where you might end up, or you might be able to help someone. So this platform is going to be amazing. And I'm actually excited because every year we do a banquet. We do a gala, actually, and we do an award ceremony. So I'm going to be getting my awards from you guys because I want something phenomenal, unique for the Impact League. And I want to be able to show our logo, but crystallize it into something amazing. And I know you guys will be able to turn that around for me. So thank you. And I'll take, any questions or anything you'd like me to address that I didn't, I would.
Thank you, Twyla, for that inspirational narrative of your journey, life journey from being homeless to owning homes in different countries. Right now, you have 11 homes. That's quite inspiring. It was quite inspiring to hear that all your companies that you started became 10 million companies in 18 months. Though that was
they went over $1 million in 18 months. Every one of the companies.
Great, great. Good to hear that. It's quite inspirational that you're starting, and best wishes as well for the new venture in Ghana, a 250-acre 5-star hotel that you're building there. All the best wishes, and thank you for joining, and thank you from your great friend, our MD, also, or on behalf of the entire Winner team, we thank you. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the next speaker is a very special one. He's joining all the way from Hamburg, Germany. His name is Jay Tuck. He's a world-famous investigational journalist, as well as a best-selling author and a global speaker. When I was watching his video on YouTube, it's a TED Talk in which he got more than 5 million views. I stumbled upon a drawn video footing of Virginia mountains, Virginia forest. Then I knew this Jay has got very powerful friends. Not everyone can get a Virginia forest drawn footage. He has a long career with the industry in Germany. He's an American, basically. He moved to Germany. He would be explaining more about that. When he retired after about 2 decades of career with the German TV network. They did a documentary, 30-minute documentary on his homage or in his honor. And this is a special one. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome J Tuck. We don't have your audio. Can you unmute?
How's that? Better?
Yes.
Okay.
Audible, yes.
Well, I definitely have to repeat that last sentence for Twyla because she's a very impressive lady. And especially if you come from very deep down and work your way up to where you are now, then you're a very special person. Congratulations on that. I chose the unicorn story of myself when I came to Germany. I had a childhood which was, I guess, very, very privileged in New Jersey, and I worked for CBS and was a TV journalist. But when I came to Germany, I did 2 years of alternative service in social work. And I arrived in this country without any knowledge of Germany, except maybe Guten Tag. I didn't know the language, and I had no contacts. And I managed to work up to be the news director of their major network television program. And after I retired, I opened a company in Dubai. Airtime Dubai is the name of the company. And we did 5 years of documentary work for a TV network I'm sure you all know, Al Jazeera. And we also produced that documentary in Arabic, which I don't speak at all. But I've sort of become an expert of doing things in languages that I don't speak. But the story I want to tell you is about how I came here. I knew nobody, and we managed to. I'm going to try to get my. Okay, what's this? Here, right? I think you can see my presentation now, I hope.
Not yet.
Not yet. So how's that? You got it now?
Yes, we can see that.
Okay, so this is I like to work with slideshows. This is my dad. I was very privileged to have a dad who was very loving, and also he was a TV critic for the New York Post, which was the second largest newspaper in the city. So I grew up with like TV in my blood, and when I was young, I met all kinds of TV stars, and anchors, and famous people, and they all told me when I was a teenager, if you ever need some help, if you ever want to go into this profession, you just call me up. And I was young and I was naive, so I believed that. Very funny. And when I did call them up, they said, well, it's a kind of rough time right now. We can't help you, but maybe you could go down to the archives in our company and work there. And I quickly discovered if I wanted to turn into something, I had to do it by myself. And then I went to Germany, and I didn't speak any German, and I didn't know anyone, and it kind of got hard. This was at my CBS time. That was my CBS producer, Peter Davis. And but I did social work in Germany for 2 years as instead of going to the Vietnam War. But I was not a media person. I spoke very, very little and very, very broken German. I was working with kids who came from the roughest of families. And I think this picture sort of shows what I was then. And we did a sailing group that was part of their resocialization. And after that was over, I decided to stay in Germany. And that meant I had to do my profession there. I had been paying unemployment insurance the entire time I was there. But when I finished that job and I went to get some unemployment money, they said, well, what's your profession? What do you want to do? And I said, TV producer. and they laughed very loudly because I had not done anything to do with TV in Germany. And they offered to give me a new job as a social worker, which was not what I wanted. So I started off on the job front at the bottom, at the bottom of everything. And this is what I wanted to sort of tell you is how I got along. These are the kids that I worked with. They were tough. Their mothers were often prostitutes. Their fathers were often in jail. They had a rough time in life, and it was a pleasure to work for them. And I tried in these times to use a couple of my student films to get them on TV, or here I was in a show called Directors of Tomorrow. But I couldn't really get started in the film business, not with my poor education. And especially as a reporter, I didn't know anything about the country that I was going to. So I had to find another way. And the main message that I have for you is that if you want to succeed, you've got to stand up, and you're going to get knocked down. You always get knocked down a lot. But my father always said, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you stand up. That decides whether or not you're going to work out. So I sort of scratched through my life, and I remembered that I had been a disc jockey, a radio personality. So I started off doing that in Germany. And being a radio personality in Germany with an American accent was not a handicap. It was part of what made me attractive to them. And that's where I finally launched my media career. I was doing radio stuff. I even had my own little fan club at that time. And I started off trying to work with famous people. And one of them was Andy Warhol. It was very easy to get a TV job to do a film with Andy Warhol. It was very hard to get a hold of Andy Warhol, because when I called up the gallery where he was working, they said, oh no, we have a press conference at 1 o'clock and it'll be over at 1:15. And I said, I can't sit there in the 15th row and yell a question up. I need to have him exclusively. So when I ordered my camera crew, I also ordered a 600 Mercedes limousine. Those are the extended luxury limousines. And I ordered 4 guys with red cappies. And the idea was I went to the airport to pick up Andy Warhol, and he arrived, of course, in this huge crowd of transvestites and press people and makeup people and groupies and God knows what all. And when he got to the first corner of the airport, my first guy was there with his red cappy. This way to the limousine, Mr. Warhol, this way. And he got to the second corner at the airport, and he said, this way to the limousine, Mr. Warhol. And before he knew what was going on, he was sitting in my limousine next to me. This is the picture of it. And I had my exclusive interview, and my driver had strict instructions not to arrive until I was finished with the interview. And to get all of these famous people in front of a camera, you needed to work with tricks because I didn't have any people that I knew. So I used a lot of tricks to meet people like George Harrison, that's Joan Baez, the famous singer. Johnny Cash, I'm sure you all know. Leonard Cohen was one of the most exciting people I met. A very, very fascinating mind and heart. Mick Jagger and Frank Zappa. These were all people that I got to meet on the way. And that was my editor-in-chief in the middle. And the guy next to him, you may have heard of, his name is Ted Turner. He's the founder of CNN. And so by helping the executives with their American English and my contacts there, I made myself valuable to the people that I was working for. And I got people like Colin Powell, foreign minister, to meet with the anchor that we had at that time. And this guy, you know, because he was mayor of Hamburg when that was taken, but he later on became the chancellor of the country. So I managed to move out of this specialty with famous musicians and stars to get into politics after several years. That was when I was announcing for a show called Panorama. And I managed to move on to be the executive director of their main network news show called Tagesthemen. So it was by redefining myself that I managed to get along there, to find new markets, new character things that I had that helped me finally break into TV. And when I retired from there, I founded my own company in Dubai called Airtime Dubai, and we produced for 5 years. We produced a magazine show, a non-political magazine show called Airtime Dubai, and we reported every week on the technological advances that were being made around the world, which was very important for young people in the Arabic world because most of them did not have a very solid scientific education. So a lot of young people watched that program to learn about all of that. But as my father said, it doesn't matter how often you get kicked down. It's how often you stand up, and that was a very important lesson. So, well, it's not half as exciting as everything that Twyla told us, but that's my little contribution to go from nowhere and knowing nobody to becoming director of the TV news show, and I'm happy to share that with you.
That's amazing, Jay. Absolutely
Don't
amazing.
you say that?
It is.
Well,
It is.
no. I mean, you had an
Absolutely
amazing
amazing.
story. You had an amazing story. Can't get near it. Very impressive.
Thank you.
Any questions that I can help you with? Anybody?
Jay, if I put in the chat box, if anyone has a question, you can raise hand through the Zoom platform. I do not see any raised hands yet, so let's assume that they don't have questions. Thank you, Jay, for the inspiring talk. It was quite inspiring to hear and the life challenges and how you overcame all that. His company in Dubai did the video on Sheikh Zayed, the father of this nation, and later the Ministry of Culture in UAE, they translated that to Arabic, and it came in National Geographic as well. So it was a great honor to have you today. It was quite inspiring to listen to the story. And I saw in your autobiography in YouTube that you had a dawn of Germany after your life. He threatened about something that you openly came up against the mafia in Germany. It was quite inspiring. Yeah.
Yes, I did that, and after that, I tried to figure out what could I do that's even more dramatic. And wartime was what I discovered, and so I've been on a combat reporter in 3 different wars, which was number 1 very dangerous, number 2 very educational because I learned a lot about the wars and a lot about myself, and now after my TV reporting, I've become an expert on AI, and I traveled around the world talking about artificial intelligence in the defense industry. And I also traveled to Ukraine and looked at what a huge difference AI has made in that field.
Okay, thank you, Jay, for joining today. It was an honor to have you. And let's move on to a short video. After that, we'll come back to Dr. Mona Golshan Sorour for her talk. There's a small video of our company, Winner Awards. It will take only 1 minute.
I think we're still in sharing mode. Yeah, there we go.
Welcome to the fascinating world of Winner Awards. Here, craftsmanship meets precision to create symbols of achievement and excellence. The journey begins with a simple hand-drawn line and meticulously crafted degree. Once the design is finalized, it transforms from a mere sketch into a detailed blueprint ready for the next stage of creation. Now let's dive into the step-by-step process of manufacturing trophies by highly qualified workers. As well as the precious metals tools are manufactured to precise measurements. The use of graphics can make the crafting process more efficient. Once the components of a piece are created and shaped, they are prepared for the placement and finishing with beautiful finishes. Now showroom views and the sculpting of our trophies are metals and coins, shields, plaques. Next to the customer, visit the showroom. Get ready to embark on a journey of excellence with Winner Awards, your premier trophy crafters.
Yeah. So let's move on to the very special speaker today, Dr. Mona Golshan Sorour. She's the head of procurement GCC for Aster DM Healthcare. Aster Group is one of the prominent healthcare providers in the UAE as well as the Gulf countries. They also are operating in other countries in the region. She's a product of Stanford, the one and only one Stanford Business School, second only to Harvard in the world. She studied system leadership and disruptive strategy from Stanford B School. And she has a PhD from Spain, UCAM Spain. The abbreviation, I'm using it here, UCAM. The full form she would be telling it to you because I found that a tongue twister. And I've been working for about 2 decades in the region, in Oman and UAE. And I should say she's one of the most or the smartest professional or smartest procurement professional of the region. Welcome, Mona, and the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much for the introduction. I should just make it more precise. I take care of that indirect procurement for the entire group. And it's quite privileged because there is one challenge is you don't see much of women in that profession, in that position, but it's an opportunity. And I hope that everybody look at it, that they have the chance to be there. It was quite inspiring to hear from Twyla and even Jay. It's very interesting to see the inspiring stories. And it's also interesting to see that many of us fear to take the risk, in fact, but it's all remarkable achievement, in fact, have risk associated with them, which we don't look at it in that manner. And if you look at those fear, there is always an opportunity there. And I think many people miss that and they don't want to take the risk because that's the unknown area, which when you don't know about it, you always think twice, do I need to do that? But then if you see, and I think Twyla also was mentioned something very interesting, that those who never fail in life, so have never achieved anything either. So it's very important to take that risk because the bigger risk is not taking it at all. For my side of the story, being a woman, having a full-time work, family, husband, children, so it's always a challenge when I look into do my doctorate, I want to do my postdoctorate, and people around, they will always say like, are you sure can do it? You will get time. And it always gives you that doubt if you really want to do it, even though sometimes you say, I want to do it, but then you have people around you that they might, discourage you that you will not get time, how you will manage it. And I had a friend, interestingly, he came and told me, when I told him the story of that, I want to just take ahead and do further studies. He just told me, what are you waiting for? And I think that was the trigger many of us maybe we need or we don't hear it in life. And from that, what are you waiting for moment till I sit in the class, it didn't take even 1 month. And I was like, wow, I'm just in the class and I'm just taking the next step. And it was all needed to just hear. So that was the thing of, I'll try to, when people come to me and ask something, I might be the what are you waiting for moment that they want to take it. There are times which people very strong, they will take their step. They know what they want to do and do it. And there are people, they know what they want, but they might require a bit of push to ensure they reach there. And it's very important that you have that right circle around you. And believe me, if you feel that you're sitting in the place and the people keep coming to you and they keep questioning, you know, that giving you a doubt, are you sure? You're not in the right circle. So it's okay if you want to move out, if you want to elevate, if you want to keep your circle of those, you know, people who can always trust on a smaller, it's fine. But then networking also at the same time important because it keeps you, take you to the direction which it has to be. It was something very interesting which I've read. I'm sure maybe many of you already come across that, which is with Professor Carol Dweck. She's also a professor in Stanford, and she has that growth mindset and fixed mindset concept, which she did the research on that. So she talks about something called not yet. So it was studied on the group of students which they failed in during, and rather than telling they failed, so make them feel they are not smart or it is end of a journey for them, to tell them not yet. So it would make the process of success kind of a journey, that it doesn't mean it's the end for you, but it's going to start. It is the process. You are not there yet. And that power of yet was something very interesting, which I was reading it last year, and I've seen many of us don't look at it very closely. Like if you did not do something, it's not the end. If it not happen, it's not the end. So it's not yet. So it makes you the hope and kind of a process to look at it, at how you want to take it forward and reach to it. So there are many circumstances or situations that you might face, that you might be in, that you think it's the right time, is it the right decision, or you can do it, or it is, you know, will not lead to the failure. But I mean, when you talk about failure, it is never opposite of success. This is something you should always remember. When you talk about failure, it is kind of an stepping stone for the next journey. Because people who not failed, I don't think they achieved even much. So that's the way it has to go. I mean, I was quite, you know, blessed to have kind of a people around me to just be very supportive and push. But then I think for me, the main challenge is, or I mean, still it is what we are working and they're trying to just get attention on that. It's for women. I mean, it's quite challenge for women, especially they want to grow in their career, to be somewhere quite, you know, higher in the place they are. Because I remember very, very closely, it was, I think, a few months back when I was doing some additional work and I wanted to get engaged in some research, and somebody came and told me, a gentleman, that I feel very sad for your husband and children that you don't get time. And I don't think if a man doesn't spend time with their family and all, they not be questioned in that manner. But for women, it's more challenging. But it should not stop you. I mean, people might say anything, but if you have a goal, you have a journey, you go for it. So I work more closely to be pushed for the women, which they will feel that no, they will not have a place to grow in their career, or it is very challenging. There are a lot of talk, a lot of expectation, but you can do it. And always remember that if you don't take a risk, you will not achieve. And those people who did the remarkable changes in any industry, there are people who took the courage to take that step. So you can be the one. And if it is your day to hear that, what are you waiting for? So let me the one and I tell you, what are you waiting for? And thank you so much. And if any question, I would be glad to answer.
So I don't see any raised hands. So thank you, Mona. It was quite inspiring to hear your quite motivational narrative that you put up today.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for joining. It was quite motivational to listen to you. Let's go through a video now. Just 1 minute video. I'll just give you a gist of our showroom. And then after that, we'll come to Tamer. Mr. Tamer, you're next to go after this, yeah? And after that, Engineer Rana will come to you. Mr. Tamer, I'm audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Tamer Nabil Mustafa Abuhijleh. He's the founder of Uday Sports, and he's the director of Uday Academy, Dubai. He's one of my star customers. Today is the era of ubiquitous sports matching platforms, USMPs, and Tamer is a giant in it in the region. A true turnaround unicorn you are. Uday app is available both on iPhones and Android. He focuses on the fastest growing sport in the world, pedal tennis. Dubai has a prominent position in the world pedal map alongside Spain and Argentina. Favorite sport of Dubai now. And we made trophies for the World Arab Pedal Championship and World Pedal Premier, both held in Dubai recently. He has a master's degree in corporate finance from University of Wollongong of Australia, and he has a bachelor's degree from Gun American University in Cyprus. An inspiration for all entrepreneurial spirits of the region. Tamer, you are a turnaround unicorn, and we are waiting to listen to you.
First, I'd like to thank you, George, for this invitation. Second, I have two clarification. One is that the camera is here, and this is the screen, so I'm 100% focused with you guys. It just, my camera is placed away from the screen. The second clarification, I don't know why I keep turning blue. I promise, guys, I'm a normal human being. I'm not an alien or something, but I don't know what's wrong with the camera. I just keep turning blue, and that's weird. I tried wiping the cameras and stuff, still I turn to blue color, but I'm a normal human being. So going to my story, I was born and raised in Dubai. My true love was towards the sport since childhood. And at the age of 13, unfortunate death of my dad happened, and that was like a turning point. I'm the youngest among my brothers, so I was the pampered one. But at the age of 13, it turns like 180 degrees. I started working. My first job was mechanic assistant, and then I worked in like data entry, supermarkets, what so on. The only time where I had a big smile on my face was when I played sports. I played football, basketball, different sports. I was good in football before the injuries. So my true love was always towards sports. It's like my way out at that time. I went to Cyprus for my bachelor degree. I really wanted to study physiotherapy for athletes. But again, being in the Middle East, the sport was not that big. So my family was like, will that pay your bills? Are you sure you want to do this? You know, being in the Middle East, because the sport at that time was not that It's not as it is now. So I had to go to finance to pay my bills. So I studied there, but I played in a club. I played in the university team. So still, sport was my thing. Even after I graduated, I applied to more than 80 clubs, football clubs in specific. For Twyla, because you're from US, it's soccer. Yeah, to more than 80 clubs. So even when I studied finance, still I went to work in the sports industry. Didn't happen. I worked a little bit in Cyprus in a bank. Then they transferred me to Turkey. I worked a little bit there. Then I went to Jordan due to injury. I had an ACL, so I had, the process of the ACL is quite long. So I worked there while I'm having my treatment. And then I came back to Dubai in 2014. I worked in, maybe you know the company, it's called Caterpillar, it's heavy duty machines. And then I moved to a factory which manufactures fiberglass pipes. That's when I did my master's degree during these years. But still sport was in my heart all the time. So I used to arrange like social games and stuff like that for myself and for my friend, and that's what I love, like sports. Then I found that there is a gap in the market. I used to always suffer when it comes to the cash collection. In fact, everyone knows what is the cut, everything, but still, there will be like minimum 3 to 4 people. Oh, I forgot my wallet. I don't have change, all that. So, and last minute cancellation, all these challenges were there. So I looked into the market. I was like, okay, there is a solution when it comes to food, like talabat, Kareem bites and stuff like that. Okay, when it comes to hotels, also there's like booking.com and all these platforms which solve these issues. So I tried to find something which solved these problems, but when it comes to sport. And that's when I found the opportunity to work in what I love and pay my bills at the same time. But lack the experience. I love sports since childhood, but I always was in the customer side and never been in the club side or the business side. Plus in tech, I have zero knowledge in tech, how it is, what is it about. I know, like I use apps, yes, but I don't know how it's built, nothing, zero. I know how they make money only. I can count the money that they make, but I don't know how it works. So due to that, I face a lot of difficulties finding the right developers, the right structure, the right technology. And especially when it comes to sport, as I said, there was nothing, so we can rely on or take it as a benchmark and tell them, okay, we want similar to this, but in this region. To find developers who understand sports was very, very, very challenging, as it's a niche market when it comes to sports. So yeah, there were a lot of ups and downs and a lot of challenges. If you ask me if I go back to zero, will you do it? Maybe I'll say no, because it was really, really tough journey. Until now, we're still not at the peak where there's a high potential for us to grow more and more, be in different countries and all this. But at least now we have at least the right recipe and the knowledge for what it takes to improve. So I was born as a fighter. Since 13 years old, I'm fighting and working and I'm trying to find my way, not pushing my family. Even when I went to Cyprus, my agreement was with my family that you pay the tuition fees and then I would pay my own pocket money. I suffered a lot there because I thought it's easy to find a job. It turns out without a language, it's almost impossible. So yeah, I fainted for not eating for 3 days. So many things happened. So yeah, I was born a fighter. So I was like, okay, at some point, should I go back to a corporate job and give it up, or should I continue? Especially that I get married also and I have kids now. So it's not me alone. But I said, no, I'll continue whatever it takes. Life, I have it only once and time is running. My kids are still young, so they're not in school and all that, so which means less expenses. So I decided to keep fighting. Now we're on the right path. I believe the turning point is now. We're already doing very well, but as I said, there's a bigger market for us, bigger opportunities that we can turn our business to a billion app market value. On the way, when we got a CTO with us, he's very knowledgeable in AI and all that. So we decided also to start something called Udemy Academy, which is related to education. It's very far away from sports, where certify people in AI, robotics, blockchain, and all that. That's my story short. Hopefully I'll be one day in this lovely panel saying that we are a billion market value app soon. Thank you so much again to have me. A great project, great stories. I'm so pleased to be here.
Thank you, Tamer, for that motivational narrative. It was nice to hear your journey from struggling for food to $1 million or multi-million-dollar app now, and targeting $1 billion app from today. Wish you all the best with that journey. And we have another panelist also who was born and brought up in Dubai. So we wish you all the best. We would like to see more of entrepreneurial talent in this region. So this webinar itself is to inspire such talent. Yes. Okay. By the way, the link to this webinar would be available in our website soon, subject to our MD approval. Yeah. And let me ask you a question. Can you identify this personality? In 1831, he lost his job. After 2 years, he failed in business. After some years, he was defeated running for Speaker of Illinois House. After 2 years, he was defeated for a nomination in Congress, US Congress. After a few years, he was defeated for US Senate. And after a few years, he was defeated for the nomination for vice president. And in 1860, he became a history-making president of United States. Can you name him?
Roosevelt?
Yeah, this is none other than Abraham Lincoln, the very great president who changed the course of history for the entire world. So failures do happen, but it is not over until you say it is over. Yeah, please go forward. And let's go for a small video. And Engineer Rana, can you unmute? Yeah, yes. Yes. You would be next after this video. We'll take 1 minute to give you a gist of our showroom.
Okay.
Yeah. Engineer Rana, it's my pleasure to introduce you as the next speaker. You are a true visionary in the field of architecture. Am I audible? Yeah, yeah. There's a comment from the participant saying that the volume is less. Am I audible very? Yeah, okay. Engineer Rana Wafi, she's the senior architect of Khatib Al and Alami Engineering Consultancy. This is one of the prominent engineering consultancies of the region. This started in the 1960s and are involved in building beautiful buildings, including palaces of the region. And she's also a lecturer of the University of Sharjah. Being part of the Khatib and Alami team, she is instrumental in designing many beautiful buildings of the country, which includes palaces. Our speaker has been at the forefront of designing and realizing groundbreaking projects that redefine urban landscapes and inspire communities. Her expertise encompasses a wide range of architectural disciplines, from sustainable design to innovative structural solutions, always with an eye toward creating spaces that are not only aesthetically remarkable, but also deeply functional and environmentally responsible. I'm honored to call upon Engineer Rana Wafi to share her invaluable insights and experience with us today.
So good morning for everyone, because it's the morning in Dubai. Pleasure to meet you all, and it's my gratitude, pleasure to be here in the panelist. So thank you for the invitation. As was
One second,
mentioned,
Reji, can you share that when it is ready? We are all seeing that PowerPoint. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so my name is Rana Wafi. I raised here in Dubai. I'm originally from Palestine, but I'm here like for more than 30 years now. The thing is, let's say from my childhood, I don't want it to be an engineer. I wanted to be a doctor. But for some circumstances, actually, I faced whenever once I was registering for the university, I was not. We are just like a very small number of the students are accepted to be like a doctorate. So it's like 200 are applying and only like 50 are accepted. So from that point, I said maybe it's like I just have to turn something for something maybe better for me. So it came just like to me as to think about the engineering field. So because I know myself that I'm good in designing, sometimes I'm doing it by, let's say, by the sense without like using engineering programs. So even I think for us as the ladies, we are just like good in this point, maybe because we need all the time to see everything. It's like in a perfect place, a perfect color, and so on. Yeah. So that's why it came to my mind, okay, maybe this thing I have to turn my career to study something which I think I have a passion of studying more and do more in it. So it came for me to study like the interior design, and it's like an engineering department. It's not like a fine arts because it had like some construction modules inside. So I finished my study in 2013, and before I finished my study, I was working as a part-time in some huge companies like Belhassa. It was like my training in second year of university, and they saw me that I'm having a very a huge passion in sites. I love to work in sites, and it's more interesting for us than just working on a papers, as you are seeing something or you are building something from scratch to see it on the real. And this was the biggest thing for me at that moment. So I was hired and I was studying that time. At the same time, they hired me as it's like teaching assistant in University of Ajman. So in that time, I was doing three things at the same time. So it's like studying, working, and even doing it's like the assisting for the lecturers. I saw myself after that, I stayed just like to work with the same companies. And after that, I completed my master in a British university in Dubai. Because it was like a demand, or just like newly they talked about the sustainability and design and how it has to take a part in all the fields, especially maybe in the architecture and the building sector, because it's maybe it's like from the highest sectors that are having this impact for the environment. So after that, and after I finished, I saw myself like when I joined even like Khatib and Alami company. It's as mentioned from the biggest companies in engineering. It's not only in UAE but like globally. I saw myself. It's like I can manage, especially when some projects. Due to some cases like last year or maybe before, I think everyone thinks once we have the heavy rains and everything was in floods, like like the buildings. And for us, it's like I will just like share a small story. We had one like commercial tower, and we were doing the it's like heavy fit out for that. So at the end, we just like have only 30 days to hand over the project. So we are in the finalizing stage. And as it's like operating, it was one of the hotels. It was operating a building. So as you know, we don't have like somewhere to store our items. It's like for the furniture that we are bringing from outside. So our storage place that time was in the basement. And once the heavy rain, happened, we lost some of the items because it was brought from Italy, from it's like from Europe, which already needs a lot of time in order to be shipped to UAE. So in that time, really, it was like a panic for us and the project, because I'm telling you, it was like only 30 days to hand it over, And that time, we just like said to, as a team, and maybe this is the right time to sit as a team. It's like to think, what about next? So now we have this issue, and what about next? So what we have to do? So it's not a time to blame, like, the environment and something happened. I know it's out of our hands, but it came to the stage that we have to do something. We have to be on our word to the client, and we have to meet the handover deadline. So we set as a team, and I think on that time we just like divided. It's like the action the group began. It's like we just like kept one group for coordinating the MEP things, which is mechanical and electrical, to check like the problems, what is happening from that flood. Other section, it was only to deal with the local suppliers in order to get whatever we lost at that time. And for me personally, I was in communication with a client. I was very transparent with him. I told him like, this is the problems, but in the same time, we are having the solution. So I'm not only raising the problem, but still I have the solution in hand. Although we lost like some of, it's like we lost in items, it's like financially losses, because you are already paid for this item, but still in order to meet the deadline, we have to do it again here locally in order to just like to fulfill this job. So we did it. And alhamdulillah, thanks God, at that time it was a very, very hard, because in 10 days only we got the site back. We recovered everything. Sometimes even for us, and even the local suppliers are stayed like till 11 or 12 a.m. just like to finalize everything. And no one felt like it's tiring, because we really have a bigger purpose to do. It's like we need to finish this for the client. And we just like have this faith. So whenever clients or someone trusts you to do something, you have to do it like whatever it takes to do. So this is the most important in us. It's like as a company that we are just like following whatever we are saying, whatever it takes as circumstances, we have to overcome it. So alhamdulillah, on that time, once we finished the project, and we did it, and they were not happy, the clients, because we did it. It's like, because some problems happened already, but we know how to manage it. So it's not like okay, everyone saw that the project, it's done, we handed over, and it's nice, but no one knows about the challenges that happened in the last minute, let's say, because usually like the last 30 days, it will be for only like, to check like any missing items, to check like if something needs any modification. So this is the 30-day. It shouldn't like hold any heavy construction or even interior work. So once this happened, even I saw myself like I can manage still. Since although sorry, I'm not that much, maybe old. I'm 35 years. Okay, but the thing is, I said, okay, since I have this ability to manage, then I can do it. And then it came the story to launch, let's say, my own business, which is Lavater Interior Design, and that one is for interior fit out. So actually, this organization, I made it for me and for my colleagues who were working with me like as a freelancers. So it's like a project management basis. So we are getting like the full service, unless like I don't have like a factory to customize or something, but it's like providing the project management services for the interior fit out. It means like whenever I have a client, they said for me like, okay, I have this retail, I need to make it, I need to finish all the approvals for it. We took this project as a project management. So whatever is needed for that project, we are taking it from A to Z in order to just like fulfill all the requirements for that. And I'm very happy because now this organization, it's been like 5 years old, and I'm very like just it's my pleasure to have it, and still it's like beside to my work. I mean, it's not easy for us as the ladies to run more than one business at the same time. However, it's like each business it's like different than the other. So if you just allow me, can I share the profile for the company to just give you a small introduction about it? Okay. Can you see all of you? Okay. So this is the brand name, which is Lavater. It's like mainly for interior design services. So we are providing like we are specialized in space planning. Whatever planning is it. So if it's like residential, commercial, and retail, we can just like do it. And the nice thing that if, for the design, we are not only making it in Dubai, because the design service, we can make it like online. So wherever you have like a plan, you can give us a layout, and we can give you like a very nice recommendation for the design, since we are creating the 3D design, and here you can just like check it. So our specialization or our services is like space planning, interior design, joinery works, customized furniture for the kitchen, landscape, and project management. Here's some of our 3D designs. So this one, it's not like realistic, but we are doing the 3D design as if like it's a real. And here we are just like, it's in the way that how we are sharing the materials and the colors with the client in order to get their concepts before we start making the design. Some of our even projects. And here we turn like we are even specialized in making the design for the VIP like villas and palaces, because yes, we have alhamdulillah our networking that are going to have or wanting to have such interior design spaces. So here, this one is like a penthouse in Dubai. We just like that the design and even the execution for it. You can see just like the quality, how it looks like. So we are receiving those kind of spaces as shell and core. So nothing is that, only we just like have the structure and the glass facade, nothing. So we are providing everything from zero. So I will be just sharing this link with everyone and even my number. So if you need anything, we can inshallah make a nice collaboration. So I'm just like very happy to reach this equality in this time because I know a lot of previous companies that I know, they needed like for more than like 10 to 20 years in order to reach this kind of equality. And alhamdulillah, within 5 years, I reach a very good, alhamdulillah, you can see our designs. We have a very specialized team and doing the very high-end interiors, and where we can really deliver and succeed in our work. So here's like some of the kitchens. So as you can see, like we are working like for more than one style, depends on the needs of the project. So yeah, alhamdulillah, we started this company. It was, I think, in a panic time once COVID 2020 just hits, and it was really a turnover for me. It's like I have to start my own thing. beside to my job, because I am loving being in consultancy for the engineering, but at the same time, parallel to my needs and to my passions, I did it, and alhamdulillah, we are now successful in this company as well. So this is like just like a summarize about me and my business, and I'm happy if you have any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Wafa, for the inspiring narrative of 30 years of your life in the region.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It was quite interesting to watch the beautiful 3D designs of Lavetta that you shared. Good luck with the entrepreneurial dreams that you have. Look forward to see you as a major interior design company in the region. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. So let's let me ask you. Let me take you to another person. It's none other than the Wizard of Menlo Park. Yeah, it is Thomas Alva Edison. Yeah, think about him. He has he has the most number of patents in a attributed to a single person. More than 1,000 patents are in his name. He gave us the famous incandescent lights that we are having in every household and every office. Yeah. So think about him. He bet on DC instead of AC, and he put all his lifetime's savings onto that project. And then he lost that bet to Nikola Tesla, and when alternating current became the thing to go. But he did not take that as a setback. He continued to inspire us. He demonstrated that his inventing spirit and entrepreneurial drive extended far beyond the realm of power distribution. He went on to invent the motion pictures, the modern motion pictures that we are seeing, or the movie industry, the Hollywood, the entire movie industry that we are seeing is a contribution that he made after that setback. So never give up, keep inventing. So let's move on to our next speaker. That would be Mr. Mohamed Sanoj. After him, it would be Mr. Atul from Tanzania. And we'll wind this up with the last punch from Colonel Reji. Yeah. So welcome, Mr. Mohamed Sanoj. He is the B2B sales director and of the GCC region for RPS Technologies. He's managing a portfolio of key accounts, each worth more than 10 million, and is mentoring a high-performing sales team, as well as designed and executed tailored marketing strategies, improving brand visibility by 40%. Before this, he was with 2 South Korean electronics giants, a decade with Samsung Electronics, and moved on to become B2B business head MENA region for LG Electronics. He was born and brought up in Dubai and is an alumnus of the prestigious Zaim Bangalore, which is one of the top 25 B schools of the region. Welcome, Mohamed Sanoj. We are all waiting.
Thank you, George. Yeah. Thank you, George. Thank you for having me. One correction, I wasn't born in Dubai, but I do remember camels walking on Sheikh Zayed Road. So that was probably when I was pretty young. I've been here ever since I was 3 months old, born outside of the UAE, but spent all my life here. Left for higher studies and work in 95, came back. It's totally been about 35 years now, so I know a lot of people will be guessing my age, but yeah, that's how it was. Well, thank you for the opportunity, George. Before I start, I understand the point Engineer Rana was mentioned, and I know which hotel she is referring to because I work in that industry. I work in the hospitality industry, but from a technical perspective, I offer solutions to hospitality. I offer basically patient entertainment solutions. We have a product and we supply it across the region. So I kind of had that. That's the current portfolio that I'm handling right now, which is the software side of guest entertainment as we speak. The key factors that I would like to mention is I was actually fortunate enough to grow up in Dubai uh, with a small family, me, mom, dad, my sister, mom. We grew up in Karama, Dubai, the old part of Dubai. At that time, when Dubai Marina, Sheikh Zayed Road never existed. Sheikh Zayed Road was the trade center and just one straight two-way road and camels roaming around Sheikh Zayed Road. That was the scenario that was it at that point. So I'm really lucky to be born in to be raised in Dubai, to see a large diaspora of people here. Of course, I'm a car fanatic. I love to see cars, so I see a lot of variety of cars, various nationalities. Very honest, very thankful that way. And I guess that's where the whole problem started because being in that cocoon. When life started becoming challenging, it became a little difficult to adjust, I remember Twyla mentioning that in the initial stages were a bit difficult for her. In my case, it was just the opposite. The initial stages were so easy. Now that I've become an adult, it's been a war zone actually. So it's kind of but it's learning. It's shaped me as an individual. Success is different for different people. My level of thinking of success. I mean, I love to be in the level of success as what Tamer mentioned, or Twyla mentioned, or Engineer Rana mentioned, or even Dr. Mona mentioned. Everyone has their different level of success. Um, in my point of view, what success to me means that if I'm able to achieve my goals and if they're meeting my objectives, that could be a success. Um, you know. Anyway, so just to give you a brief, I'm basically a B2B guy. I've kind of moved out of that sales role and trying to say, you know what, I can offer a lot more. Today, people contact me asking me for help in hospitality. I tell them, listen, what do you need from hospitality? And I tell them, listen, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. So I'm kind of moving on from that sales role to more of like saying, hey, listen, this is the latest stuff. Why don't you do this? Or why don't you do that? If I were to make money, if I could make money by just connecting people, I would be a millionaire by now. But unfortunately, not yet. I'm not there yet. So I hope to be a millionaire someday. But then, as I've seen, the more you ask for something in life, the more it eludes you. So I'm not really sure how to get that formula right, but maybe you need to just wait and watch and see how things work for you. The key to my success has been a couple of things. I wouldn't say success. I mean, the key to what would I say? Self-enlightenment would be more of following a couple of things which I didn't do in my previous life. Like, for example, um, I was a sports person. I wouldn't call myself an athlete. And when I reached 130 kilos while working for Samsung, I realized my health would go for a huge toss. Either I could just collapse or my heart would burst. So I decided to take a break. But then, like Tamer mentioned, someone has to pay the bills, right? So a couple of years, a bit of riding into the wilderness, COVID happened. And then I decided one thing, that after COVID, based on advice of a very good friend, after COVID, Sanoj, you need to come out as a new person. And I was like, yeah, I need to get rid of these 130 kilos. I need to be a new person. From 130, I went to 99. Of course, I gained it back, but I keep yo-yoing back and forth, but I'm getting there. I can proudly say that I'm in the best physical state of my life. What has turned around this is surprising, is the mental state of mind. Uh, my mental state of mind has completely changed. There was a stage where I was so depressed, I was so upset, I was so negative. Hitting the gym has been the best thing, and this is the advice I would give to all youngsters. Are you depressed? Are you going through a difficult time in your life? Are you going through multiple issues? Best thing to do, hit the gym. I remember one time when things get bad in the office, I just leave and I straight go to the gym. I don't go home. I don't go to a bar. No, I just head to the gym. That's the best place. You work out for 1.5, 2 hours, you forget everything. The dopamine instantly makes you forget everything. Um, so as I progressed, this is something that I realized, and a couple of things that I've done very judiciously is cutting down social media. I stopped watching the news. I try to avoid doom scrolling. Uh, so and basically these are the things that keep you mentally stable. It also helps to avoid negative people from your life. So these things help you to think in a sane way. This is the personal side of things, which I would like to highlight. From the professional side, it's very important that one innovates. I've been My product was hospitality televisions. I was selling them. But then when I proposed to management, listen, I cannot keep doing this for so many years. I need to innovate. I need what next? What next can I do? And then they said, listen, we're setting up the whole team. Redoing the whole thing. You can sell a lot more products. Hardware anybody can sell, but what is it that you're selling? You're selling an experience. You're not selling a product, right? You can sell a BMW car, but if the service is horrible, it creates a very bad experience. In my case, that was the same thing. I was just selling a product, and I know that there was a Sony, there was an LG, there was a Philips, there was, of course, Samsung, and all these people were trying to get the same slice of the pie. Everybody was just cutting each other. There was no fun in it. If I give a product for 1,000 dirhams, there's somebody to give it for 999. And sadly, in this part of the world, there is no brand loyalty. The procurement guy, as Dr. Mona would say, somebody had to say, "Hey, listen, why are you buying from X when they're more expensive?" Definitely, there will be questions asked. Audits will happen, right? So it's a never-ending game. What do you do then? You start innovating. Then you say, you know what? I'm just not going to be a person just selling hardware. Let me try to see what I can do in terms of adding a value to the customer. So that's where you come in and say, "Hey, listen, I'm a consultant for you. I'm guiding you. I'm a person to help you. Tell me what you need, and I'll give you the right solution." A more solution-driven approach helped me to crack bigger deals. What I currently see is a challenge in hospitality in this region. So I decided, I've thankfully identified healthcare as the next segment. We're moving towards healthcare. I'm trying to position, and I see in my LinkedIn profile, you would have mentioned that I've also mentioned healthcare. So how is hospitality and healthcare related? More or less similar, but in terms of patient experience or guest experience. In hotels, we call it guest experience. In hospitals, we call it patient experience. So the more or less the difference is the same, but that's what it is. Anyone can sell televisions. Anyone can sell a server. Anyone can sell IP phones, for example. But what is it that you're selling in terms of an experience? How you innovate? That is the main thing. So bottom line, before I don't want to take this discussion a lot more further. My only message to all of you, or to most people, and that's the message I want to say, is focus on your fitness. I know Leader Sports because I'm a cricketer. We play and we do buy trophies from Leader Sports, but I didn't know George was there, so I do see a connection. Based on your Russell Core store, by the way, yeah, we've got people who buy the trophies from there. So I know about the company, and it's a coincidence that you're working there. So we can ask you for a discount, George, next time. All right. So bottom line, if you're suffering from any sort of thing, hit the gym, to focus on your fitness, avoid people who are energy vampires, just stop watching the news, just feel good, just eat properly, sleep properly. I think then things are going to be working out for everyone, and yes, always it's important that you start innovating yourself. You don't want to be the same person every year, right? You cannot say, I'm a sales guy, I will only do sales. No. Can you go in and say, hey, listen, I can also do project management for you. So apart from selling, and I'm also supporting you at the back end, that would make, in my opinion, that's what you need to succeed. I've tried innovating. I've not made my millions, by the way, unlike certain people in the group, but hopefully one day soon I will get there. There's an important message I just got, my daughter shared with me a few days ago, and I would end my talk, okay? My definition of success is achieving a certain level of income, financially. And I keep running behind it and saying, you know what, I need to get there within this year. Sometimes it does get me upset when things don't happen. I'm human after all. But sometimes you feel like, yes, it is achievable, People give up on you. You offer certain services, people don't respond to you in the same time. That kind of affects your morale and your psyche and things like that. And you think, is this really going to work? But my daughter gave me a very good advice. Listen, why are you upset? You don't need to be upset because this didn't happen. But look at Uncle X or look at Uncle Y who are staying without their families. They eat food from outside every day, right? Yes. They don't get to see their families because they're not living with their families for whatever reason. They've moved into the country new, they're just setting their base, whatever be the reason. But look at you. You are at home. You have people around you. You've got good friends. You did schooling here, so you've got your school friends. I've got my college friends. Like, why are you upset? Why you have all these things for you? So my thing to all of you, keep a very good social circle. I think it was, I don't know, somebody mentioned about having a network in place. Absolutely important. And then that's the way you need to move forward. Remove, and by the way, people don't watch the news. Yeah, it's the most dangerous thing you can do in this scenario today. On this note, thank you so much for having me, guys. Thank you for listening to me, and let's all connect through various platforms. Yeah, and then we can take this forward. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed, for that inspiring tips. We would the day you stopped watching too much of news, you started making news. I think, yeah, you have been successful in terms of personal as well as the professional life. How your tip of innovating to create customer experiences, I would keep that in mind throughout my career, and would do more innovations. Thank
George,
you
I
so
don't
much.
know if, yeah, thank you, George. Just an important point. I don't know if that is success, but for me, it creates a sort of well-being inside me, and I think, you know what, that's good. That's not a bad thing what you've done, and I don't know, maybe it could be a not a great thing when you compare it with other people, but deep down inside, I'm happy, and I think that's what's more important. You know, just that you are happy, and you keep innovating and you keep trying new things. There are a lot of things, like I said, like you mentioned about the Abraham Lincoln case, right? I've failed miserable amount of times. It shaped me to what I am, and the advice that I give people is keep trying, don't give up. You need to have a circle around you to support you in terms of in bad times, you know, and that's what it is. Yeah, keep going, and don't give up. Yeah,
Exactly. Yes, failure is stepping stone to success.
absolutely.
Right. Next, we were to have Feruza as a speaker, Feruza Rizabawa, but then she had a small accident in the morning and she tripped over from the stairs. She even sent me a picture of her head injury. She's at the hospital now. Pray for her fast recovery. And let's go to a video, 1 minute video, and then we'll come back to Mr. Atul, who's joining from Tanzania. Yeah, that was our collection of medals. This is just a gist of our showroom. By the way, Winner Awards has a 120,000 square feet manufacturing facility right here in UAE. And we made one of the most valuable trophies in the world, Sheikh Hamdan Camel Racing Trophy, and many others. Our next speaker, Atul Shankar, is a Tanzanian. He's the MD of Darul Manor Limited, the company of real estate that he leads in Tanzania. His grandparents are from India. He is a serial entrepreneur, an active Toastmaster. He presently is the division director of District 114, leading Tanzania and Ethiopia. He's a Toastmaster, a public speaker, and an ethical leader. There's a common friend of ours who is with the government of Tanzania and who referred him. He told me Atul is a great speaker. So we are all waiting for you to start.
Thank you, George. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking.
Yeah. Am I okay now? I'm audible?
No, is there any other mic that you can use?
Hello, is it okay? My test one,
Okay,
two.
go ahead. We'll hope that it will be better in after a minute or so. Go ahead.
Sure. Thank you, George. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's been a great session today, starting our day with inspirational stories and inspirational conversations, and how we got around unicorn moments. So I think this moment is one of the greatest moments, I think. I like to tell myself, yes, I'm basically an Indian by origin, but all my life I grew in Tanzania, and I studied in India, and then came back doing business in India and Tanzania. So mostly in real estate, construction, and trading. There were two moments that were completely turned around in my life. I was privileged to be born in a good well-off family, and we've been doing business since 30 years. The two moments that really changed me and really made sure I knew now the life we have to lead. When I was in my teenagers, I was suffering from severe migraine and severe sinusitis. And I don't know how many of you have experienced an attack of sinusitis or migraine. When you have that, it really ruptures you. You can't think, you have a huge brain fog. That was always disturbing me when I was studying, I was moving around, and inflammation within my body. And I used to go to the doctors, I used to visit them. They were always giving me some medicine, and it used to never go. But only I used to always introspect myself, think myself, and then I understood what food should I avoid? What foods should I add? What foods, what lifestyle should I lead so that I get it done better? But for that reason,
Atul, we are getting comments that your audio is breaking. If you cannot make up with the audio, I request you to reduce it within like 5 minutes, and let's move on. It's a technical glitch. Move on. If there is no better mic, move on. Yeah.
I'm sure. So let me just check if just another time, maybe the internet connection. Hello, is it okay? Are you audible?
No, it's still breaking. Yeah, move on, and let's conclude it as soon as possible. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So one thing I understood is you introspect and think that can in your life. In a similar way that really helped me respect myself and foods to avoid the sinusitis, to exercise more and cardio, and it really me. That is one of the turnaround unicorn, I think. Another is at the time of COVID, all businesses were scattering down, having huge losses. And in this time, I lost my father who was the chairman of a company, and all this was huge loss and checks in the bank. And I imagine at this age, I was age 27, to handle the companies and to debts. People were always ringing me up and calling me, but I dropped down, and then I understood for a month or two how to restructure and revive this company. And then slowly, I got to understand things, and by God's grace, and I believed in one thing, that if you work hard, and if you believe in yourself, and get things done, and hopefully I turned around my company, and we cleared out the debts, which was $5 million, and now we're going still and successful. And our company, we make luxury homes in Tanzania, and we do construction. So in life, I learned two things which really plays a very key role. One is extreme hard work, and the second is right intention. When you're doing extreme hard work and right intention, you can get things turned around. You can get from zero to unicorn. And I believe success is what, according to us, what according to each person, each perception is achieving the goal is a success. For some, it is money. For some, it is a lifestyle. For some, it is just being in peace. So you cannot measure success, is what I believe. The four principles which I learned from my mentors is deep critical thinking, deep focus, emotional intelligence, and high performance leadership. These four principles have really helped me to charter many things, to reach success, and to lead many successful organizations and events is what I really learned. And with these four principles, I'm doing much more better. Thank you all of you from the great speeches from Ms. Twyla and to the last speaker. We enjoyed each person's success from failure to how it is really nurturing each person's and the life lessons. Thank you, and thank you for having me today, and as usual.
Thank you, Atul, for joining all the way from Tanzania. He was a speaker recently in the FinTech Tanzania, and he is doing quite well in the business in Tanzania. Thank you, Atul, for sharing the narrative where you had the struggle with sinusitis and how you overcame that. Also at the business front. The next speaker is a Canadian. He's joining all the way from Canada. It's an odd hour in Canada. Thank you for taking the pains and joining. It's an absolute privilege to introduce our esteemed speaker, Colonel Reji Koduvath, joining us all the way from Canada. And Colonel Reji is a distinguished military veteran, and he's an accomplished author, having penned 2 acclaimed bestsellers, Son of a Gunner and Suit, Boot, and Tie. I've read his book, Suit, Boot, and Tie is a unique perspective drawn from a remarkable career, and profound personal experiences offers unparalleled insights. He's an embodiment of testosterone. The like that you would mention is a Mike Tyson, Donald Trump mutant combo on steroids. We are honored, truly honored to have Colonel Koduvath, Reji Koduvath, share his wisdom and journey with us today. We are waiting for the last punch to round this one up.
Hi, a good day to all of you. Thank you for inviting me in this. If you look at all the panelists who have spoken till now, they have all been great dreamers. They wanted to fulfill their dreams. And I define dream as an idea or hope that is apparently impractical or unlikely to be realized in the current state of the world. That does not mean that the dreams have never been realized. I have realized some of them, but not all. Dreams are boundless, limitless, timeless, and are dictated by the power of imagination of the dreamer. Let your dreams float into infinity, and they will germinate new ideas and visions. I will never quantify anybody's dream. But let's take the case of a student dreaming about finding a solution for cancer. Many of us would have dreamt about it after seeing the sufferings of people, the close ones. So in order to find a cure for cancer, one must probably pursue a medical career, though many inventions and discoveries have been made by people who were remotely connected to that field. So from the dreams evolved an aim that is achievable somewhere in the real time. In this case, for the high school student, it will be completion of medical graduation. Now comes the goals. Goals are for achieving the aim. To succeed in your aim, you must have a single-minded devotion to your goal. It is like a soccer or football match, where you aim to win a match, and to succeed, you have to score goals. Now coming to my life as I joined the military school, the dream then was to be an officer in the Indian Army. So I went through all the motions of it. Though I was not a great student, but I had a great dream. So I said, let me try it out. So very indisciplined. So I joined the army, became as any lieutenant would have it, to become the commanding officer of the battalion. Achieved that. This is where the importance of the dream comes in. That you want to make sure that your spouse and the children, they all achieve the dream. Now, how do you do it? So the only way is let them also have a dream. So my wife, Marina's dream, she was a pharmacy graduate, was to get into Canada or USA, where the pharmacists are recognized as a chain in the healthcare system. So when I went to command the battalion, she migrated to Canada. And in 1 year, she passed all the regulation examinations and obtained the license as a pharmacist. So that was her dream fulfilled. Then the children migrated to Canada. And after 1.5 years, and so once they settled, I hung my boots and I also moved to Canada. This is where I wanted our children to achieve their aims. Our daughter wanted to ultimately start her own business. She's got over $1 million turnover now. Our son, when he was in the high school, they had this career and counseling in grade 12, and every student had to present as to what they will want to do in future. There were wine tasters, there were chefs, there were fashion designers, musicians, film personalities, actors, name it. So our son Nikhil, he presented that he wanted to be the Prime Minister of Canada. So one of the girls asked him, you are an Indian born, you're a naturalized citizen. How can you become the Prime Minister of Canada? And he said the first Prime Minister, Canadian Prime Minister, was also a naturalized citizen, not a Canadian born. So in Canada, unlike in the US, naturalized citizens can reach there. So another girl asked, how can you have the same? So he says, among the 200 high school students, I am the only one. And as per our teacher, who had 15 years of teaching experience, no student has ever come up with the name. That means it's 1 among 3,000. And I'll become 1 among 3 million. So then the teacher asked, what is your goals or plan to become the Prime Minister of Canada? To prove that you're a true Canadian. He says, I'll join the Canadian Army, serve for 10 years, come out and begin my military career, political career. So this is our son. who is a lieutenant in the Canadian Army, with both of us proud parents. So it is all about achieving your dreams. So how do we get to that part is what, if you look at any successful people's life, we have to revisit the aims and goals we have set for ourselves, maybe weekly, monthly, half yearly, with a view to redefine them, raise the bars, and change them if needed. At times, even discard them all over and find new aims and goals. One may lose interest in the aims and goals as they may not be challenging enough, or may not motivate you, or may not even interest you of today. Sometimes you have thought of an aim, but the goals may not be what you really want to achieve. In this case, you are trying to force yourself to settle for what you think you can get, rather than achieve what your passions are. This is mostly due to parental environmental pressures, where everyone wants you to be either a doctor or an engineer, no more or no less. To make your aims more challenging and more interesting, set an aim that is big, a bit impressive, that just thinking about it scares you a little bit, and at times seems almost impossible, but has the potential to dramatically change your life if you are able to achieve it. Keeping this in mind, you raise the bar every time or for your goals, a little by little, and try and achieve them. Keep raising the bar until you reach that aim which you never thought would be possible. By getting into your creativity and resourcefulness, you can amaze yourself with the results you achieve. Now you evaluate the progress, maybe a daily, weekly basis. You got to avoid distractions. That does not mean that it's all work and no play. You must believe in yourself, reassure yourself that you can achieve the goals, especially when going gets tough. In the military academy, when we were training at the National Defense Academy and the Indian Military Academy, it was rigorous, tough, can't even think about it. The commando courses, it was all tough. Going was really tough. Every day you curse the day you joined the army. Then you look back, 15,000 officers before me have gone through this. I can also go through it. And that used to motivate me to achieve further. And this is exactly what I have been telling our children, to a new generation. Have a dream. If you don't have a dream, how can you live for tomorrow? So dream unlimited. Define your aim and set the goals. Try and achieve them as much as possible, and success and happiness will surely be at your footsteps. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you, Colonel Reji. I don't see any raised hands. So thanks a lot for the inspiring narrative of how you achieved your dream of joining the army, as well as your son's dream. May his dream also come true in the future after he serves in the army for a decade as he plans to. So thank you all for joining. Special thanks to Twyla, Jay, and Mona, Dr. Mona, Mr. Manoj, Mr. Mohamed Sanoj, Mr. Atul, all the speakers, Mr. Tamer, Engineer Wafi, Engineer Rana Wafi, Reji, Koduvath. Thank you to all the speakers who have joined today and shared the inspiring narratives. Thank you for all the attendees of the webinar. Thank you for joining. You're all a turnaround unicorn in your sphere of influence. And thank you for the Zoom platform for enabling this webinar today. And special mention to our Managing Director, Mr. Mohamed Tamer, for approving this webinar. From entire team of Winner Awards Dubai, we thank you all for joining, and may all your dreams come true in the future. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Thank you
Much
for the
success to
opportunity.
everyone. Continued success.
Thank you.